Hey everyone, GhostJunk here with a Turtle WoW video on the various attunements for the different raids and some dungeons on the server. This video will have both Turtle WoW and Classic attunements on here, and everything will be timestamped so you can skip to what you want to see in the video. The quest starts inside Karazhan 10-man at Lord Ebonlock. He will tell you a story that you can read, but I'm choosing to just click through it for the sake of the video. If you are still towards the beginning, make sure to pick it up before you finish the raid. The next part is to kill Morose, who is the last boss inside Karazhan. He can put up a bit of a fight, so make sure to take it seriously. He'll drop the key to the upper chambers, and before you decide to leave the raid, head back to Lord Ebonlock and turn it in. This will prompt the NPC, the Cook, to have a quest appear to continue the chain. Speak to her and then head over to South Shore and find the Kirin Tor camp near Dalaran. They will ask you to go to Theramore to speak to Magus Hollister. He will then direct you to the outskirts of Dustwallow Marsh in a shack far away to the southwest of the zone to a man named Dolvar Bracewind. He will have a story for you to read, which I'm going to skip through here. The next quest will be locating 4 echoes of Medivh, which are shaped like feathers on the ground, located all over Azeroth. You can do them in any order, so just do whatever works for you. One is located in Hillsbrad Foothills, just a little southeast from Dalaran, on one of the cliffs near the edges. Again, these are shaped like feathers, so watch for that. An echo of Medivh will appear, and he'll talk for a bit at each one. Just stay until the quest credit appears on screen. It should only take a minute or so per feather. There's another inside Stratholme on Festival Lane near Elder Square. This is the most annoying one to get to because of the fact that it's inside an instance. There's another in Undercity on the top section of it in the throne room, behind the throne. Be cautious if you are Alliance, as this will trigger PvP going into this area. Thankfully, most people are respectful of this quest on TWoW. Lastly, there is one feather in southwestern Hyjal, just a little west of Dark Hollow Pass, on the north side by the cliff. After doing the feathers, return to Dolvar in Dustwallow Marsh and grab the next quest. You'll then need to head into Dire Maul West to slay Immol Tharr. This will require you to clear all the pylons inside Dire Maul West for Immol Tharr to be accessible. So your best bet is to run the instance as normal for an easy clear. Also, as a quick side note, the Emerald Sanctum Attunement quest chain and the Binding of Xanthar quest chain both require you to come into Dire Maul West. So it may save you some time to get all those quests done in one run. After slaying Immol Tharr and grabbing the Arcanized Gems quest item, head back to Dolvar and turn it in. Grab the next one, and it requires you to go to Blackwing Lair and pick up a book near the Throne of Nefarian. If you're doing this on an alt, all you really need is the completed raid ID to run up to the throne and grab it. Head back to Dolvar and turn it in. He'll start a ritual of some kind with some ghosts and magically forge the key. Speak to him again, and he'll give you the key to Upper Karazhan. This attunement will be in your keyring. You'll now be allowed into Karazhan 40-man. This quest chain starts in Hyjal at Nordonar with a green dragonkin named Relathius. The first quest is him telling you his story. If you don't care to read it, just click through it and pick up the next quest. You'll need to locate Vilemusk satyrs and slay them until you get 3 nightmare effigies. Return to Relathius and pick up the next one. You'll need to gather a few items from around Azeroth. For this part of the quest chain, it is worth noting that it previously required an Arcanite Rod. However, since the Tower of Karazhan patch update, it no longer requires one. Head over to Azshara and start killing cliff breakers for a binding fragment. This should drop rather quickly. Then head into Dire Maul West towards the Immol Tharr room. The easiest way to do this is to go into Dire Maul North and head towards the library. This will require the key to Dire Maul to get in this way. Then follow the hallway and head towards the back and up the ramp. Go through the door and you're there. Once inside, slay arcane torrents until you have the overloaded arcane prism. This may require help from a friend, or if you have another account, you can do it that way as well. Finally, and this is the most annoying part, head into Sunken Temple to slay the Green Drake Weaver. To do this, you'll need to slay all the mini-bosses, and after that, you'll need to slay Jamal. Make sure to clear out Jamal's entire room, or else everything will pull. This can easily be a problem even for a group of level 60s. Weaver and Dream Scythe will spawn afterwards in the center room. By the way, I do apologize for the camera angles in Sunken Temple. I was doing too many things at once, so that's why the video here is a bit all over the place, but I swear the rest of the chain and video are much better. Slay Weaver, and then you can pick up the Slumberer's Shard quest item. After you get the quest item, do not hearth out. Your best bet is to either run out of the instance or reset it if you are in a group. You need to stay in the Swamposaurus as the turn-in for the quest is in the southwest of the zone. The NPC is a high elf named Itharius, and he will take the items you received, give them a once-over, and ask you to return to Relathius in Hyjal. After turning this in, the next part of the quest will be available to you, but it will summon Shades to attack you and Relathius, as he is attempting to channel a spell. If your gear isn't the best, it may require an additional try, but people are generally half decent on Turtle WoW, so another player may assist you if you end up being a little bit in over your head. After turning that in, you'll need to head to Bleak Hollow Crater, located in the west of Nordinar. You'll need to slay another green drake named Loranicus, who will require 4 or 5 party members to take down, and you'll pick up the Charge of Ysera quest item. Head back to Relathius to turn it in, and he will give you the Gemstone of Ysera. This is your ticket into getting into the Emerald Sanctum. Just keep this in your bags at all times, and you can walk in and out of the raid instance freely. You pick up the quest chain from Magus Aradin Dusk Tower in the north section of Deadwind Pass. He will start you on your path to gain access to the Crypts. Your first quest is to slay Var Zog, an ogre with a magical pendant that Magus Aradin needs. He is located on the east side of Deadwind Pass in a cave within the Vice. Grab it and then head back to the Magus and pick up the next one. For this one, you'll need to slay ghosts outside Karazhan. They will drop ghostly substance, and you'll need 8 of these to move on. They're not 100% drop rate, but this only took about 15 minutes to get 8 of them. The next quest, Magus Aradin, will give you a crate to deliver to Archmage Ansarum Runeweaver, who is located outside the sealed city of Dalaran. After that, head back to Magus Aradin in Deadwind Pass and grab the next one. You need to go into the underground cellars outside Karazhan that are both named the Master's Cellar. They both have mini-bosses and may require some assistance from a friend, or if you have multiple accounts, another character. For reference, the staircase closest to the Karazhan raid is Captain Rothine, and he will drop the Mark of Karazhan, and the staircase further away from the Karazhan raid is Groundskeeper Jacoby, and he will drop the Old Crypt Key. I'll show you the path to both of these mini-bosses here in the video. If you have characters that allow you to stealth, or if you have movement speed increasing items, I would suggest using these here, as the mobs will eventually reset after getting too far away, so you can avoid dealing with some of it if you're lucky and fast enough. Once you're out of there, head back to Magus Aradin and turn the quest in. He will give you the Karazhan Crypt Key, and this will allow you access into the dungeon. I'm also told that rogues can't pick this lock, however I don't know if this was changed or not at some point, so take that note with a very large grain of salt. Now, technically, you now have access to this dungeon, however there is a follow-up quest from Magus Aradin to go into the crypt and slay the last boss. I would recommend doing this as it gives you an arcane resist item, and those are soon going to be very valuable in the Karazhan 40-man raids. You also get a decent amount of rep for Dalaran after doing all these quests, so that is a nice bonus. Unfortunately, I do not play Horde because, for the Alliance, but this quest chain is essentially the same, except the key Horde NPC for this quest chain is Korgon inside Stoneard. For this attunement, you need to kill cows in either Alwyn Forest or Mulgar to hopefully get the mysterious cow scroll. The entire chain is essentially just solving some riddles, and I'm just going to tell you where to go. First location is in East Alwyn Forest in the barn on the Brackwell Pumpkin Patch. Look for a wooden box and you'll turn in and pick up the next quest, here. The next location is in Westfall at Gold Coast Quarry, inside the back of the cave. You are looking for a pile of dirt. Turn it in, then grab the next one and head over to Duskwood. Go to Raven Hill Cemetery and locate a particular grave you need to speak to. Turn it in and grab the next one, and head over to Northwestern Stranglethorn, and you're looking for a small wooden chest. Turn that one in and grab the next one, and then head over to Blasted Lands in the Serpent's Coil. Inside one of the large huts is a wooden chest. Turn that one in and pick up the next one. Lastly, you'll need a couple of items to complete the chain. You can buy them off the auction house, thankfully. Work's Third Leg, which is a bit much at this time compared to 2 years ago when it was dirt cheap, and Cow King's Hide, which is cheap now compared to 2 years ago when they were insanely expensive. When you've got your items, head back to Elwyn Forest on the northeastern area, Stone Cairn Lake. Look for the cow, Bessie, and speak to her to turn it in. After that, you can speak to her to teleport into Moo Moo Grove at any time. This location is a fun little Turtle Wow area with a world boss that spawns named Moo the Cow King. The boss is made for around 10 people, and you can see with this many people we had, the fight lasted about a minute. Moo drops a few cool items, but I'll let you discover those for yourself. This attunement is a small quest chain that gives you an item that will unlock the door to Upper Blackrock. You'll need 4 items that drop from the lower section, which is designed for 5 players, but you could run it with 10 if you wanted to. First item you'll need is the Unadorned Seal of Ascension. This can drop off almost any mob inside and even outside Blackrock Spire. You don't need to be on any kind of quest for any of these items either, they just drop when they drop. After that, you'll need the 3 gems that go with the seal. Each gem drops off a specific boss, and they do not always drop, so you may need to come in this instance multiple times. If you happen to have a lot of gear, you may be able to solo some fights, or maybe just come up with a friend or another account. The first gem is the Gemstone of Spire Stone, and it drops off the Ogre boss, High Lord Omek, located in the Ogre hallway. The second gem is the Gemstone of Smolderthorn, and it drops off the Troll boss, Warmaster Voon, located in the lower half of the Troll section in a separate room. Last but not least is the Gemstone of Bloodaxe, and it is dropped by the last boss, Overlord Wormthalak. After you gather all these gems, you'll need to head back towards the entrance to the lower Blackrock Spire portion around a ramp made of rock, and locate the Scarshield Infiltrator, who is secretly the dragon Velastraza before being corrupted. He then sends you on a quest to forge the Seal of Ascension and provide you with the Unforged Seal and the Orb of Draconic Energy. You'll have to head to Dustwallow Marsh and go to the southern area just below the Wormbog to a cave. Inside that cave is the Black Drake Emberstrife, who has the power to forge the seal. You'll locate him almost in the very back, and it's wise to have a friend or another account altogether to assist you, as this particular dragon can hit a bit hard, and if you are unprepared, you'll spend a lot of time dying. First, you'll need to use the Unforged Seal so it is now an active item that will show near your character. Then, you'll need to lower the dragon's health to around 10 to 20% or so, at which point you can use the Orb of Draconic Energy to mind control the dragon. You'll get a new spell bar with some new abilities. You want to position the dragon so he is facing the Unforged Seal, and use the Flame of the Black Dragonflight spell. This will forge the seal, and then you can finish off Emberstrife. You are then able to right-click the seal, and you will receive a Forged Seal. Head back to Scarshield Infiltrator and turn in the quest, and he will give you the Forged Seal of Ascension. This is your key to getting into Upper Blackrock Spire. You just need to have it in your bag, similar to other attunement quests, but now you'll be able to open the door as if it was a key instead of walking into an instance. For this attunement, you'll need to speak to Lothos Riftwaker, who is a high elf near the passageway leading up to Blackrock Depths. He'll ask you for a core fragment located inside Blackrock Depths. What I'm going to show you here is what many refer to as a lava run, to skip some of the dungeon in order to get to certain bosses faster. This also helps complete the quest, as the end location is nearby the quest item. Head into Blackrock Depths and make your way to Lord Incendius. You don't need to slay him in order to complete this, however it is advised as he may follow you when you do the run. What you'll do is jump down the side to the lava below. After that, follow the path this group and I are taking through the lava to the other side, making sure to keep jumping to reduce your overall damage. When you are able to stand on land without taking damage, try to heal yourself and your group, especially if you have lower maximum health. After heading over, you'll be underneath a bridge with fire elementals above. Take them out and cross the bridge where there will be a few more elementals waiting. The core fragment is just on the other side of the bridge, right near the instance. After picking it up, you can turn it into Lothos and you'll be attuned. All you need to do is speak to him and he will teleport you inside Molten Core, and now you are ready to jump in. Now technically, this does end the attunement quest. However, Molten Core also has a mechanic where you need to extinguish a rune that is on fire, and to do that you'll need either an Aqua Quintessence or an Eternal Quintessence. To get those, you'll need to head over to Azshara on the far east side of it. There is a very small island with the Hydraxian Waterlords. Speak to Duke Hydraxis and he will start you off with 2 separate quests. The first quest will have you head to Silithus on the north side to slay 15 Desert Rumblers and 15 Dust Stormers. The second quest will have you head to Eastern Plaguelands to locate poisoned water elementals. Purify them with the aspect of Neptulon that the Duke gives you. Slay the purified ones to collect discordant bracers. And once you have 12, head back to the Duke to turn them in. Grab the next quest and then head into Upper Blackrock Spire. First boss is the Pyroguard Emberseer and it has the quest item you'll need. If you are doing the entire raid, I would recommend taking a full 10-man group. After this, head back to the Duke to turn in and pick up the next one. You'll then need to head into Molten Core and slay 1 Fire Lord, 1 Molten Giant, 1 Ancient Corehound, and 1 Lava Surger. These are all trash mobs inside the raid, and you'll likely slay at least one of these in a regular go-through of Molten Core. After that, head back to the Duke, turn in and grab the next one. The next quest is just a reputation check requiring you to be at least honored with the Hydraxian Waterlords. Just by slaying mobs and bosses inside Molten Core will give you reputation, and you will hit honored relatively quickly. Grab the next quest when you hit honored, and then head back into Molten Core and slay the Naga-looking bosses Lucifron, Sulfuron, Gehennis, and Shazra, and loot their hands. Make sure that you specifically go and loot each boss, as it is easy to forget inside a raid to grab the quest items. Head back to the Duke and he will have a new quest for you to grab, but also he will have new speech options which are now unlocked. The first option will give you an Aqua Quintessence, which will douse a rune, and it is important because you need them in order to summon Ragnaros inside Molten Core, and these ones will be used up after each time. Once you hit Revered with Hydraxian, the second option will unlock and grant you an Eternal Quintessence, and will also douse a rune and never be used up, but will go on cooldown for 60 minutes. The last quest the Duke gives out is a reward quest that lets you choose between 2 half-decent fire-resistant rings. For Molten Core, that's it. The attunement for Onxyia starts at Helendis Riverhorn in the Burning Steppes zone. The quest you need to start is called the Dragonkin Menace. You'll be required to kill a variety of black dragonkins local to the area on the east side of the zone. You'll need to kill 15 broodlings, 15 dragon spawn, 4 wormkin, and 1 drake. Head back to Helendis to turn in and pick up the next one. After that, you'll need to head to Red Ridge and speak with Magistrate Solomon, and he will give you a letter. After that, head to Stormwind and deliver the letter to High Lord Bolvar Fordragon. He will ask you to speak with Lady Prestor, who is next to him. You can click through the conversation, but if you read it, she seems less than interested in having a conversation and encourages you to quit what you're doing. Not suspicious at all, eh? After that, speak to Bolvar again and grab the next quest. He will give you a decree that you'll need to deliver to Magistrate back in Redridge. Then travel back to Burning Steppes and speak with Marshal Maxwell. After that, head to the north part of Burning Steppes to Flamecrest and speak to Ragged John. Head back to Marshal Maxwell after that and turn in the quest to pick up the next one. Next, you'll have to head inside Blackrock Depths, and you'll need to head to Marshal Windsor inside one of the cells within the tunnels. This lock can be picked, or the prison cell key can be looted off the boss High Interrogator Gerstan. After that, you'll need to head back to Marshal Maxwell and turn in the quest. This would seemingly end the quest chain, but don't fret. Head back into Blackrock Depths and start slaying mobs and look for the quest item, a crumpled up note. I would also recommend making sure you do not reset the dungeon if you can help it, as you'll want as many mobs down as possible. After finding the note, start the quest and head back to Marshal Windsor. He'll give you a new quest asking you to slay General Angerforge and Golem Lord Argolmak, and then grab the quest items. And it is strongly recommended you have a full group for this next part. You'll start an escort quest with Marshal Windsor, and he will lead you to free other prisoners, as well as reclaim his lost equipment. Make sure that whoever is actually on this part of the quest, you stay close to Marshal Windsor to maintain eligibility for the quest. You do not want to have to do this again. This quest is easily one of the most painful escort quests in the history of World of Warcraft, and an absolute nightmare to do more than once, as is the entire quest chain for Onxyia. Once you are near the instance portal, Marshal Windsor will request that you tell Marshal Maxwell about what's going on, so head to him to complete and grab the next one. Next, head to Stormwind, and just through the gate entrance there is an NPC, Squire Rowe, who stands guard with the other guards. Speak to him and he will start an event for Stormwind. Stick with Windsor throughout the beginning of the event. There's a lot of back and forth between NPCs for the sake of the story. I'm going to speed through it so you can just see what happens and what you need to do for completion. Eventually, Windsor will arrive at Dolvar and reveal that Lady Prester is secretly the dragon Onxyia. She will show herself and summon her fellow dragonkin, which were also Stormwind guards, in disguise. The good part of this quest is that Dolvar is so powerful that he can basically do the ending of the quest for you, and I simply just stealthed in the corner. After they are all defeated, go speak to Dolvar, who is rightfully devastated, and turn the quest in. Grab the next one, and then make your way to Winterspring. You'll need to head over to a blue dragon representative named Heleh, and if you follow this path, there's an easy way to get to her. After turning in the quest, she will give you a new task, which is to slay the boss inside Upper Blackrock Spire. Return to Heleh and she will give you the Drakefire Amulet, which is your item that allows you entrance into Onxyia's lair. God, that quest chain was long. Again, Alliance all the way, but here is a video by GhostJunk Productions for you to follow for the Horde attunement. I hope it helps. This attunement starts with heading near the entrance to Upper Blackrock Spire, but then heading down the hallway and taking your first left to locate the mob Scarshield Quartermaster. Slaying him will drop Blackhand's command, and this item will start a very, very small quest chain for attunement to Blackwing Lair. All you'll need to do is head into Upper Blackrock Spire and make your way to the last boss. Touch the glowing orb at the end called Dracasath's Brand to end the quest. After that, you are now attuned to the raid and can enter. All you need to do is touch the orb at the end of the long hallway outside Upper Blackrock Spire instance, and you will be transported inside. You should be able to do the ending of Onxia's Lair quest chain and this one at the same time. This attunement is by far the easiest one in the game, however it is also the most expensive. You'll need to head to Light's Hope Chapel in Eastern Plaguelands and speak to Archmage Angela dos Santos. She will allow you entrance into Naxxramas, but for a price, based on your reputation with the Argent Dawn. At Honored, it will take 5 Arcane Crystals, 2 Nexus Crystals, and 1 Righteous Orb, as well as 60 gold. At Revered, it will take 2 Arcane Crystals, 1 Nexus Crystal, and 30 gold, and Exalted, it's free entry. Although the price is high, I would recommend getting in as early as you can, as Naxxramas trash runs are common, and you may be able to grab a few pieces for an alt or even your main that will give you some very early assistance. While this is all that is required for attunement, if you want to unlock your tier 3 gear, you must complete the quest Echoes of War, which requires you to slay trash mobs inside the raid. 5 living monstrosities, 5 stone-skinned gargoyles, 8 Death Knight captains, and 3 Venom Stalkers. After that, your class representative in Eastern Plaguelands will allow you to exchange any tier 3 token and required materials for the respective piece. And that are all the important attunements you need to do for Turtle WoW in order to experience the full game. I know a lot of these haven't changed from Classic, but having everything bundled together does save time for you, the viewer, and player. Check out these videos on some important quest chains in Turtle WoW, as it's for sure important info, and don't forget to like and subscribe.